Again, you can't think about Oak Ridge without thinking about not only the science, but the history of the science, the energy, the engineering, and all of that is encompassed right here at the American Museum of Science and Engineering. At the American Museum of Science and Energy, you can take a walk through history, space, engineering, and science all at the same time.
Everything is very new, very hands-on, very interactive. And we really want guests to feel like they can understand how energy works.
Communications Director Matt Mullins walked me through the 5 sections of the museum that start and end with an interactive map of Oak Ridge, where all the magic happened. First up, the making of the atomic bomb.
So within the museum, we start in the Manhattan Project, and that's the roots of understanding how all of this came to be. Past the Manhattan Project, you have this gigantic national complex with this incredible technology. That moved into national security. We move into big science, supercomputing, the spallation neutron source, understanding how pieces of chocolate work together in your favorite candies. That big science moves into energy leadership, where we really research and understand the process of nuclear energy. And after all of that, sometimes when you do gigantic projects, you make a little mess. Environmental restoration went on with technology, innovation, and leadership. We learned to clean up our mess.
Along the way, you can watch, read, touch, and listen to all the history of science in Oak Ridge, and even make your hair stand up. As science continues to evolve, so does this museum.
We have opened up a corner committed to new technology and new science. We are inviting innovators through the region into the museum to set up and show us what they got.
From 3D printing to solar and wind power, science that made it to the moon and changed the course of history. AMSE has something for everyone.
When you walk through this dense, information-packed museum, you learn something, you touch something, you feel something, and you experience something.
And I'm here now with the director of AMSE, what you just saw on TV, and the K-25 History Center, Alan Lowe. Alan, tell me, what can you find when you go to these places?
Oh, so much. It's great to have you all here. You know, AMSE's been a staple in this community since 1949. We tell the story of the Manhattan Project, but also the amazing things in science and engineering that have happened since. So a lot of STEM education, a lot of great public programming. At the K-25 History Center, we also tell the story of the Manhattan Project, but specifically the story of the K-25 plant, a massive 2 million square foot plant that processed uranium in the Manhattan Project and on into the Cold War. So a lot of history, a lot of science, a lot of engineering. A lot of great stuff happening here in Oak Ridge.
Of course, there's a lot of sides to the story that went through on in history, 70 years here. Yeah. Why is it important to document all of that?
Well, we have to preserve our history to understand ourselves. That's first and foremost. But then you use that history to teach new lessons. So how do we inspire this and future generations to be leaders, to go into STEM-related fields, to be that next kind of innovator generation that we need here in America?
And still now, all these years later, Oak Ridge is still a center for science across the nation, across the world. And, you know, how do you guys make sure that what's coming forward is embodied here?
Yeah, we help tell that story in partnership with DOE, and you see the work going on at the lab, at the Y-12 National Security Complex. So much happening right here in East Tennessee and Oak Ridge, and we help tell that story and learn lessons from it.
And at the K-25 History Center and AMSE, that's open to the public almost all the time. So if people want to come visit, what do they need to know?
Yeah, just come and see us. AMSE's in downtown Oak Ridge. K-25 History Center is a bit out the turnpike, but open 7 days a week. Love to have you come visit.
And then to somebody who may not, maybe not be into science, be into history, why should they still give it a try?
Oh, yeah. Well, first of all, you'll learn to love science if you come here, but also there's so much history, Manhattan Project and beyond, that we tell at both museums. So yeah, there's a little bit for everyone there.
And as we know, a lot for everyone across all of Oak Ridge. Beth, Todd, I'll send it back to you guys.